What up, peeps? It's your girl Dosh. Come back to your Real Takes. Well, it's time, you guys. It's movie review time, and this is for the movie Army of the Dead, directed and written by Zack Snyder. Now, this one I had been waiting for to drop well over a year when we knew this was in the works, and he'd shown a picture of the cast together. And when I saw who was going to be, in the film, made me definitely hype. Of course, at the helm, David Bautista. So in the midst of this, I'm a zombie lover. I love zombie films. Some of my favorites, of course, are from George Romero, like what is it? Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Diary of the Dead. Then you have some newer ones that I've seen the last couple of years, like what is it? Patient Zero. I saw Overlord. The Dead Don't Die. There's another one I've yet to see, and I need to see it called Rampant. Of course, Train to Busan. Just to name a few. There's quite a bit. Zombieland, another one I'm saying. So yes, I just love a good one. And when I saw the trailer for this one, I was beyond hype. I was ready for it. I know we were going to get our action, get a little bit of a story. Look at a little bit of funny banter. So I'm like, okay, nice little mixture here. So when the movie came out, I said I would, definitely want to do a review for this one. Now, this one, I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free as possible. And with this one, I will say this overall, I did enjoy the film. I will say one thing I did notice in regards to the story. It was definitely in some ways kind of rushed, even though in the trailer you see the character played by Hiro, Hiroyuki Sanada. He plays a character, I think I want to say Tanaka, where he goes to meet Dave Bautista, his place of business, asking him to get his help to retrieve something for him. And of course, when he's asking for this, he wants him to put together a team. And of course, this situation involves, getting some money that's in a particular vault within one of, I want to say, one of the casinos. And that's over a part where, due to the zombie outbreak, it's a part of an area that is kind of closed off. So definitely where it comes into a situation where he definitely needs a team to do this, whatever and all they're going to go through, probably the perimeter that is closed off from that to be able to get into that area and get in and get the money. And of course, the way he states in the movie, like, so many hours, then it's done, the helicopter will be here, you put the money or whatever and all, you'll ride out into the sunset. How easy it could be. So with his characters now, I can just go through some names. One of them that's in this movie is Omar Hardrick. I like the way his character's set up. When they start introducing some of the characters going to be in this one, you see another one who's played his daughter, Ella Purnell. I'm gonna get into that particular character. Another person in this one is I'm not gonna see if I'm gonna say his name right, but his name in the movie was Ludwig Dieter. He goes by real name Matthias, and I had to write his name down. I want to say Schwach Gopher. I could be saying his last name correctly. Don't beat me over the coals. My apologies. Another person is in here who I think at times was rather funny, whichever. It was Tig Notaro. She plays Marianne. And then, of course, we have Ana de la Aurora Guerra. She plays Maria. Just, having definitely a backstory with her character, Anna's character. And then just seeing that him, Scott, played by Dave Bautista in this movie, he rounds with Anna to go find a couple of different people they can. There's another gentleman. What's his name in this film? His name is Mikey. Goes real name Raul Costello. And I like the group they bring together because Ludwig's character is the one who's the brains, who's going to be able to open the vault, and the other ones are basically the muscle. So that kind of sets it up. And then there's another character who's in it who plays kind of like an overseer, kind of like, background with the authorities, police, whatever. Theo Rossi. Character's a douche. In this movie, he's a straight up ass. I'm just saying, excuse my language, but I'm just being honest. Whatever. Needless to say, just the fact that he plays the part where Ella Purnell's character, her name in this is Kate. She's Dave Bautista's character's daughter. And you just notice that, with her teaching, helping them, whatever, and all, to deal with the children, some of the families who, are being displaced at the moment due to this outbreak and being quarantined out, from particular parts of the area, from where the zombie outbreak happened, and just dealing with the way he treats the ladies, whatever, just straight up douche. So the sentiment of them, of course, getting together, and of course, Dave Bautista's character and his daughter kind of have a little issue because when you see certain parts in the film at the beginning, it shows certain things where he had to deal with a traumatic situation that involved him and his daughter, and it kind of strained their relationship. But in the midst of this, you see how they eventually start working their way to getting things together, getting the floor plans, the codes that Ludwig needs, whatever, so they can get in there. Now, this is where I wanted to kind of get into discussion where the beginning of the film, there's a scene where we get introduced to what looks like to be um, the one and only individual who seems to be I don't want to say in some ways to carry whatever all that this virus whatever this the zombie, but we never get an understanding as to exactly how this came to be. It's like this military situation is happening in the midst of this whatever, and they come across what looks like to be some crate or whatever, and there's something in there, and of course this man's trying to get some information and how to deal with this. And when the thing opens up, we're introduced to this particular zombie, whatever. So I really wish at that point we could have gotten a little bit more prior to that as to how, but sometimes, like you said, with certain stories, they want to get kind of right into it. They show you just a little bit, and it's kind of in some ways left up for you to kind of get a little bit of an interpretation. But in this instance, that part would have been nice to see how this became this one person who went, and you see in the scene of him overseeing him working his way down towards, Las Vegas, whatever, all the glitz and glam, where all the destruction is about to have, where all these people are going to end up being bitten in turn. So from there, they eventually, work their way to try to get in there and do what they need to do. You see a little bit of the funny and the banter, and I did enjoy that. Definitely get a little bit of action in between and all that. Some parts were paced a little slow, whatever, and all, like building up to a scene, where they're being engaged or involved with, killing a couple of zombies. But let me get to the zombie aspect where you see in the trailer where it shows a female, it shows a particular male, a zombie, kind of in the backdrop far away where they cannot even see, but you do see the female one. And I would say I did kind of find them definitely intriguing and engaging with the way they carried themselves, the body language, and the way, she moved, manners, everything. Definitely good. Wish I had their names. It's kind of hard for me because I think I want to say she's probably listed as the Alpha Queen. And then I'm not sure about the man if he had a particular name because I don't recall them ever saying it. I was trying to see if I caught that, but I did not. So kind of just going straight out, whatever it could be considered the alpha male in this one. But I will say this: when you see in the trailer, when they talk about them being faster, a little bit smarter, hence the male one was definitely that. Female, in some instances, not so much. I won't give anything away on that instance, but definitely at first, very regal way she carried herself, kind of standoffish, with the rest of the crew trying to, not, engage her. But the male definitely stayed back a little bit. He had a little extra muscle with one zombie that grabbed one of the characters and all that, which was well deserving. I won't say who that was, but needless to say, definitely rushed it a little bit in an instance where they had to bring in a certain situation where that's when we're going to get a little bit more of our action. And that was fine. I will say there's another character that's in this film that I like, and I always have to remember his name. Garrett, what is it? Garrett Dillahunt. He's been in a lot of movies and films that I like, whatever. His character was somewhat of a douche, whatever, had his own agenda, and definitely being that he worked with Tanaka, so wasn't surprised there because he's considered his security for him, so he had to go along on the mission. So I already knew there was agenda with him if you're coming along, whatever, being that Tanaka's asking for help outside or whatever, but probably just to be an overseer, but he had his own plans or whatever. Overall, the action, was good. Definitely towards the last bit of the film, I won't say like the last maybe 30 to 45 minutes is when we really get action because a certain incident happens where, one of the zombies, it deals with a traumatic situation, whatever, and that's when he basically asks for all of his zombies to just go full throttle and try to kill the group. And you definitely see some scenes that are definitely gory, bloody, action packed. I like the scene between Amari Hodrick and one of the main actual zombie in it. I like that fight sequence. That was really good because he was getting it. And he was giving some, but he was getting a lot more of it. And I'm talking about Hardwick. But overall, like I said, I did enjoy the film. I feel definitely in certain parts of the story, kind of logic here and there. I get the overall gist of them, the whole core of them getting there and why they're there. Like I stated at the beginning. Not sure how I feel about, the way they kind of flushed out the beginning as to how this all came to be. The ending, towards the ending, you see certain things happen. Of course, there's plenty of casualties that happen, certain ones that I really enjoyed and some of the casting, who don't get to stay, survive, kind of unfortunate, really sad. But Not everybody you always think they're gonna, actually end up living. They don't. So that kind of like, and I don't mind that because sometimes you're always like, oh, the Irish, yeah, they're gonna be, they're gonna probably die. But then this person, you're like, oh no. So overall, that part. But I will say this with the actual ending. It's a possibility. We'll have to see if Zach, decides if he might want to do a second one because the way it did end it definitely can be a consideration. So it depends on how this one does and how people take to this one. I can only imagine some individuals might say they like it. There might be a couple of them that might not. Some people, feeling the way they feel about Zack Snyder, whatever, might decide out the gate they don't want no part of it and all that, and that's their feelings. So we'll have to see about that overall. My rating out of a 10, I'll give it about a 7. Like I said, good little bit of action, story, wasn't all that great, whatever. It's just a little bit well to do. But yes, I really, really did enjoy this. And I like that Dave Bautista, getting a little bit more, being that even though this is, definitely considered like a horror thriller, get a little bit of the drama and him playing a little bit more in his serious aspect. Because I know he definitely has said in the past how he wants to do more roles a little bit more serious. But at least with this one, he get a little combination of a little bit of everything, action, drama, whichever. Other than that, that's pretty much it, you guys. So, like I said, I didn't want to feel like I spoiled anything for you guys. But with that said, comment below. Let me know what you think if you got a chance to see the actual film. And just leave it in the comment section. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next review. You guys take care.